This is the Mississippi Delta. It's a vast alluvial plain that stretches from Vicksburg to Memphis on the state of Mississippi side of the Mississippi River. Agriculture has been the mainstay of the Delta since it was carved and cleared from the cypress swamps and cane breaks, cotton mostly. Not so much just cotton anymore, a lot of things, corn, soybeans, rice, peanuts. And in the midst of the sea of plowed fields popped up islands, villages and towns, service centers, mostly that supplied the workers and the farmers and the plantations. But as agricultural practices evolved over the decades, field hands were replaced by tractors and mechanization, and a lot of the once important role of these quaint little villages and towns also diminished. And many of them lost their need to be and simply dried up. Ruleville was heading in the direction of oblivion, holding on to what was, as what was becoming no more.
It had gone down with the rest of the Delta. I mean, it took a decline.
But then came a revival, a renaissance that sprang from an unusual source. The North Sunflower Medical Center at Ruleville underwent a major renovation, becoming one of the tip-top rated hospitals in not only Mississippi, but the entire nation. Now the town of Ruleville was sort of just swept up in the current, along with it, coming back as a service center again, not to agriculture, but to healthcare.
I remember growing up as a child in Ruleville, where the eye station is, that was the Western Auto. Where the diagnostic center is, that was part of Sunflower Grocery Store.
And Ruleville is in a place now that has time to reflect on its roots and the luxury to celebrate where it's been and where it's heading.
Well, our hospital is growing, our little town is growing.
We have the Fannie Lou Hamer Civil Rights Marker and the Fannie Lou Hamer gravesite and memorial garden. We have recently been presented 2 Blues Trail markers, and we have the Luster Basis John Wayne costume next door.
There is a positive feeling in this town.
Well, you're talking about a town of less than 5,000 people that's really progressive, and I don't think any other town in the Delta is doing that. 1933 Restaurant and Bar is a Prohibition era bar and restaurant. We've got, I think, an atmosphere that you can't replicate anywhere, and Ruleville kind of is perfect for that. Downtown is just beautiful.
One thing the Chamber does every year is we do a festival, Great Ruleville Roast and Run. And Friday night we have a band, fireworks, we have food vendors, barbecue cooking contest. Saturday the Rotary Club has a pancake breakfast.
It's a MBN, Memphis Barbecue Network, sanctioned barbecue competition. And that's what the whole thing is centered around, is that contest.
We have a 5K run, and then we have bands during the day and barbecue contests and arts and crafts.
I've lived in the city. I lived in Georgia. I've lived in Chicago. And it is something about the atmosphere in the Delta.
I have a very positive feeling about Ruleville and the surrounding area.
And I believe there's a renaissance happening in the Delta because of the art, because of the music. There's definitely an interest in the Delta that has never been there in my lifetime.
Ruleville, Mississippi is the best place I've ever lived in my life. I don't want to ever leave. I love it. I love it here.
This is home. This is where we come. Our church is here, and everything that we do is here.
And it's nothing like home.
Ruleville is a town that speaks for itself. Now, the people who live here speak for it anyway. And it's a town on the rise again. Defying gravity? Oh, you could say that, but it's really not that mystical. Maybe better put, Ruleville is caught in an updraft of the Delta that's in the process of redefining and rediscovering itself. And Ruleville is the shining example of how that is done, and that it can be done.